What's up, squad? How you guys doing? Great.
What sticks out to you as you watch the tape from Sunday?
Well, I think the things that stick out are we got a lot of great playmakers. Obviously Chris Carson had a great game. DK Metcalf, his first National Football League game, he was amazing. Made a lot of great plays. Tyler was big time when we needed him. I thought the defense played really well in the last, right there in the middle, the end of the fourth quarter. They played really good. Helped us win the game. And I thought from an offensive line perspective, we didn't play great early on. We all know that, but we did a really good job throughout the rest of the game. Later on. So that's who we are, and that's who we need to be all year.
How's DK different than maybe you thought what you were getting when he was drafted?
I don't think he's any different. To be honest with you, I've been working with him since the day he got drafted, pretty much for the most part. So his work ethic is unbelievable in terms of everything he's been doing. He gets here early. He works extremely hard. We worked all off season together, he's knowledgeable of the game. I think the thing that jumps out about DK more than anything else, though, is just his mind. He understands the game really well. He sees things and he reacts and plays football so post practice we sit right next to each other, watch the film and talk, and just he's got a great mind, understanding, and all of our receivers do actually. It's exciting to have. It's exciting to have so many young guys that obviously are great playmakers, but also understand the game at such a high level. Their IQ level is very high, so that's a good thing for us.
How does DK's size help him on the field?
Well, obviously DK's a monster on the field. He's as big as it gets. He can run, he can jump, he can catch. He makes the contested plays, as you saw the other day on the scramble drill. He made the contested slant route. He made the contested go ball. There's a lot of things he can do. So there's nothing really he can't do. And so we want to keep trying to find ways to get him the ball and continue to spread it around too as well. There's Tyler Lockett, who can make a lot of plays for us. There's JB, who's made a lot of great plays for us too as well. And we're excited about Demo getting back at some point. And Malik is a really good player too. He hasn't gotten the ball much, but he gets open and he runs great routes. And I think our running backs are going to be special this year too.
The scramble play, the 25-yard gain there in the third quarter, is that something a rookie in his first NFL game normally picks up on, or is that him?
Yeah, I mean, I think that most rookies don't recognize things as fast as in the first couple games at least, as fast as DK did in that first game. I thought that he saw things. He saw me scrambling, reacted quickly. He's got a great response there. That really showed up in practice though. I noticed it. The first few days we practiced, I scrambled a couple times, and he came back to me. He went down the field. He came across the field. He works hard. I think that really all those things in terms of scrambling is really just instincts and just playing football and trying to run the open spot, and I think that it's also effort, having great effort. And I think we got a lot of guys that put a lot of great effort into that.
You've been playing a long time in a lot of places. Is it kind of strange at this point in your career to go somewhere new for the first time?
Yeah, I'm excited to go to Pittsburgh. I think obviously Heinz Field, growing up, I used to watch a lot of games there. Not there, but I used to watch a lot of games and be on the East Coast, and they would always show them. So I got a lot of respect for the Steeler Nation and just what they've done over the years, and watching championship football. Obviously, Ben Roethlisberger is one of my favorite guys to watch playing football, and gotten to play him before. But just I'm excited to go to a new place. Me, I look up what the field looks like. I figure out what the clocks are. I kind of get used to it in my mind now, and I'm practicing there already. Right now. So I think it's cool. As you go throughout your career, you get to play all these different teams in different places, and that's one of my favorite parts of playing in the National Football League and traveling and going to different cities and playing in different venues. So I love playing on the road. It's home's always the best, but just going on the road and playing in different stadiums, different venues, it's the best thing about it.
Will you just Google image pictures of inside the stadium?
Yeah, I will, and just visualize what it looks like, get a feeling of just. I'll look up. Most of the stadiums I kind of know just because I've watched a lot of football, but you kind of feel what the crowd does and all that kind of stuff. So I think in the third quarter they play. I'm blanking on the song right now, but they play one of the legendary songs. I forget what it is right now. I want to say Thunderstruck, but I don't think it's Thunderstruck. Yeah, Renegade. So that's going to be cool. There's certain things that each stadium does, and that's a cool part about it. So I'm looking forward to all that kind of stuff.
Why is Ben one of your favorites?
I think he's been a champion since obviously being young. I think he's been a guy who's just made a lot of great plays, a lot of great moments. And he's tough as nails. He's hard to bring down. He can make every throw. I remember the game we played here. I was sick as a dog that game. My stomach was all torn up. I remember I was throwing up and everything else, going number 2 and not feeling very good. There's another way to say it, but and so I wasn't feeling very good. But I remember just him battling and us looking across the field, just seeing one another, and just this is going to be a good one. And just it went down to the wire. So I love great players. I love watching great players. I love being on the field with great players, and he's one of those guys, Hall of Fame quarterback, and guy who's had a great career and done it the right way and played hard and played tough and led his team to a lot of victories. So it's gonna be cool. Got a lot of respect.
There's a video out there of you jumping on the scrum between Jermaine, I think it was Dunlap, trying to get Jermaine off after the touchdown. Do you have to do that a lot? Do you kind of find yourself as a watchdog there? Because there's a lot of skirmishes on that line.
I don't feel like I have to do that a lot. I think, in this game, it's a very physical game. Guys getting tussles and this and that, throughout the game. But for me, obviously, we just had Chris score. Didn't want anything to bring it back or any penalties and hurt us. So I think Ifedi's just trying to play tough there, and it was going back and forth. And so I think I went into dad mode there and try to save us from getting a flag there.
The ball didn't go to Tyler a lot early in the game. Was that just sort of the way the game worked out, or was there anything they were doing?
Yeah, it just worked out that way. I think for us, it was really more so, we had several negative plays, and we were kind of behind the 8 ball. We didn't get the ball in the first quarter barely, so we missed that whole quarter pretty much. And then going to the second quarter, we got that 2-minute drive and got the ball up and down the field and everything else. And next thing you know, it's halftime. Then we come back out. Hey, let's try to get the ball to 16 if we can. And we found him when we needed him. So I think that Tyler, we always want to get him the football. He can do everything. I mean, he's one of the best receivers in the National Football League, and so we want to find 16. That's for sure.
How do you combat a team trying to take your best player out of the game by throwing more at him with double teams and whatever? I mean, I guess you can't just go in and it's like, all right, well, they're taking Tyler out. Let's just go elsewhere. I mean, we want to still get him involved somehow.
Yeah, I think that it's just understanding conceptually how we can get him the football, and then also too is anytime teams are trying to double certain guys, that means it's a one-on-one somewhere else. So the good thing is we got a lot of great players, and I think for us, to have that versatility in terms of our running backs, our receivers, our tight ends, that helps a lot. So I think that's the best way to combat it. And then they have to make a decision. Okay, what do we do now? And it's more challenging for them. So I have trust in everybody that we get to play with every day, every Sunday. So it's cool. It's cool to have a lot of great players that can make a lot of great plays.
What do you see from Pittsburgh's defense?
Well, I think Pittsburgh's defense, they struggled in the first game, obviously, but I think they're very aggressive. They fly over the field. T.J. Watt's one of the best players in the National Football League. We got a lot of other great players. We got a lot of respect for Hayward, and they're really front seven. You think about Hayden. He's always been a great player throughout the league, and so you got to be aware of where he is too. And so, I think that we gotta expect their best. We're going home. We're going to their home, their first home game. It's going to be loud. It's going to be intense. But it's just football. We got to get ready to play and be on our stuff and be clear and play sharp.
One more on DK. He said he really only played with one other quarterback who scrambled a whole lot, so the scramble duel thing was a little bit new to him. But when he first got here, did you guys talk about that aspect of it, or did it just kind of come naturally to him?
Yeah, I think it came naturally to him, to be honest with you. I think every receiver wants the football and likes the football. I think he moves when he realizes, okay, we get to play, and get open here. So I think he does that naturally. I think also too, we definitely talk about it. We talk about it as a team too. It's one of the things we do best, and so we want to be able to get guys open, and that's just part of the game. And so I think, like I said earlier, though, I think naturally it came to him. I noticed it. I think it was probably the third practice of the year, or somewhere around then, that we were playing team drills and all that, and he just did a great job scrambling that day and just made some key plays, and so he can do everything, and so that's a good thing for us.
This is off topic, but have you connected much with Kyler Murray?
I've not. I mean, earlier on, like during the draft, but not right now during the season. It's we're both pretty focused and trying to do what we're trying to do. But I think he's a great player. I think that he's had a great baseball career. He's supposed to be one of the top players in baseball. But yeah, we definitely talked before the draft, and you're just kind of talking about what he should do and just kind of what his thought process should be going into the combine and all that kind of stuff. So we definitely talked about those things.
Is there any advice that you gave him?
I told him to do it as what he really kind of dreamed about doing ever since he was little, and I think more than anything else is making sure that you you try everything you can to keep your options open in that sense. I think that, to be able to have the gift of playing pro football and pro baseball is a special gift. There's only so many people in the world that get to do that and have the opportunity to do that, and at a high level too. So I think that, more than anything else is look at it as a blessing, not a curse. Sometimes, you can get worried about what may happen or this or that. Am I making the right decision? And just go for it. And at the end of the day, something great's going to happen.
Do you see yourself in any of his game?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we're very similar in size. I think that he's a guy who's quick as can be. He can throw it all over the field. I think he has those baseball instincts and everything. So I think he's gonna be a great player, in the National Football League. And I think he's gonna be able to do a lot of great things.
When you're a young player, how tough is you're not a young player obviously now, but when you were a young player, how tough were road games, especially like your first couple?
Let's see here. Well, I've never, I've been fortunate to play in a lot of games. So road games, they haven't been difficult for me to play in. I've always liked playing in road games. I've always liked playing any game. So they weren't difficult for me. I think you just have to get used to, the atmosphere you're in, and that's really it. It's not, you can't make too much of it. I think the crowd's going to be a little bit louder, obviously, but I've been fortunate to play in the ACC, some of the loudest stadiums in the country. I've been playing at Clemson and playing at Florida State, and played in some big games then, and then thinking about playing the Big Ten too as well, playing at Michigan State and playing in the Big Ten championship. So the crowd noise was not really a factor. I think that it can be if a guy's coming from a smaller school and it's his first time playing in a stadium like that and everything else. But for me, I've been used to it for a long time. I think coming in as a rookie, you have your natural thoughts and nerves and worries or this or that. I think at the end of the day, you just want to play great. You want to be prepared and you want to go out there and play. And I think, the game, like I always say, it's 100 yards, 53 and a third. It's no different.
You ever had a situation where, like the Huskies had on Saturday night, where they just sat around for 3 hours and waited for a thunderstorm to go through? Have you ever had that?
Yeah, well, we were getting out of our team meeting and the thunderstorms were going crazy. Felt like I was on the East Coast again. So I've never had a situation where the game was that delayed. And at what time did they start? 11 o'clock? Yeah, something like that. And I woke up that morning pretty early, and next thing I know, I just looked at the ESPN, checked the score, see what happened, and it was just a crazy game. I've never experienced anything like that, especially in football. I've had some baseball delays and stuff like that, but playing a football game that late, it's got to be tough.
Do you think that we make too much of the 10 a.m. start, West Coast team traveling to the East, and how do you guys kind of combat that? I know traveling out on Friday.
Well, I think we're so used to it. We travel on Fridays. That helps a lot, and getting kind of used to the atmosphere again, like I said earlier, and just getting acclimated. I think it's the most important thing, and then, I think for us, it's really just getting up early, kind of getting moving early. I know for me, when I go on the road, I'm up by 6 a.m. game day, for the most part. So, I'm already in the groove and just kind of waking my body up, kind of getting my movement in. I'll go work out a little bit and do something light and just kind of, move around and just get wake up a little bit and get ready to play some football. So it should be a non-factor. I think for some teams it can be. I think we've done a great job of that. Having a lot of new young guys, it's something that, you don't want to over-communicate, because sometimes when you over-communicate then it becomes a factor. It's one of those things that, you just, want to just alert guys how to do it best. Don't alert guys necessarily of all the worries. Just let them know how to do it best. Keep it clear, keep it simple, and hey, do this, do that, and let's go play some football, let's go win a football game.
That New England just killed the Steelers last week. Does that make it any different this Sunday at 10 a.m.? Like the Steelers being a wounded bear or trying to get their respect back, anything like that?
I think the Steelers organization, the Steelers, they know what they're doing, and so we got to be prepared to play some great football. For us, it's about battling, playing a great football game, trying to execute our game, and at the end of it, seeing what happens. So they got a great quarterback, they got a lot of great players on their team. And we got a lot of great players too, and so it'll come down to the wire most likely, and get prepared to play a long football game. I remember in 2015 it was a long football game, and we battled and found a way. We're going to their place. They have some of the best fans in the world, and I think it's going to be a great game. So we're looking forward to the matchup.
Thanks, Russ.
Thank you guys. Go Hawks. Yep.
sacks